guys, it's Sam Daines from Ardento here. Wanted to kick off 2022 with a quick video, even though we're already kind of at the end of January. But today I want to chat about digital transformation, and this might be something that you're considering embarking upon this year if you're a business owner or a business leader looking to transform and leverage technology. So what is the term digital transformation and how can we define it? It's a bit of a buzzword and it's been gaining a little bit of traction. You probably hear this term being thrown around. Digital transformation generally is an initiative where technology is led into business and implemented into business in a way that enacts change across multiple areas and transforms the business operationally in some way. It doesn't necessarily need to be as broad sweeping as the term may allude to. You can have a digital transformation initiative which may only touch one or two areas within your business. So we don't want to discount your initiative of bringing technology into the business as not necessarily transformative, because pretty much all technology has an opportunity to transform business for the better. So what can we do to think critically about some of the things that matter about transforming business and embarking upon a digital transformation initiative this year? So one of the first things we want to think about is defining the outcomes and actually defining what we're hoping to get out of the transformation initiative. After all, we need to be able to measure it to see if it's success. So we want to be able to define this, and one of the ways is to think about what areas within my organization is being affected by this transformation initiative. It might be that you're seeking some better operational efficiencies. Maybe it's inventory control, or maybe it's better warehouse management. Perhaps you are seeking a better customer experience, and that's an area of transformation that you're trying to improve. It could just be sales and marketing. It could be employment or HR, even just down to things like analytical and reporting capabilities. These are areas that could be transformed by technology in your business. So it's important to define this up front before you start actually enacting any change. And then that will help you plan the next step, which is going to be scoping and resource planning. So you want to define a scope within your digital transformation initiative and within your project. And a scope really helps define the start and the end of your project and where the technology is going to affect it. We don't want to have an initiative that is never ending and doesn't have proper defined boundaries. We can't change everything overnight, and not all businesses are going to have lots of resources that they can throw at a project to enact this level of change. So it's important to define a scope that is realistic and plan the resources accordingly. It's important that you've got the right people behind the project, the right people that are going to be able to support and work with the technology, learn how it's changing the organization, and analyze the changes that it's making. We don't want a never-ending digital transformation. We want a transformation that is defined. It has a start and end time. We know how long it's going to run for. And because we planned ahead, we know what the outcomes are. So defining that scope and working with somebody to define that scope is a critical part. And then once you have that defined, make sure you've got the right people on the project so that they can help make this transformation a success in your business. And these are generally going to be people, key leaders within your organization and key staff, team members, as well as maybe external parties, integration providers, consultants, etc. So you've defined your outcomes and you've got a scope. Now, how do we embark upon this process, and what's something else that we should consider to make things a success? And it's less about the technology, but more about people and culture. And I think this is something that's often overlooked with digital transformation. Organizations need to be prepared to change. And what I mean by that is we're not leveraging technology or bringing in technology so that it stays the same or your business stays the same. We don't want to bring in the old processes or the old way of doing things and try and bend or force technology to deliver those. Now, sure, you might weigh up some things that can't change or some processes that you know in your business are already working well, or maybe they are too ingrained to change initially. But ultimately, you need to embrace the change and you need to be okay to let go of some of these processes. Often when I see digital transformations that aren't going smoothly, it's the resistance of change. It's people not wanting to embrace the new way of doing things or not wanting the technology to change the way they operate on a daily basis. So these types of things are really important to think about. Planning your outcomes, making sure you know what you want from this initiative. Having a scope of work so that you know where the project starts and ends and who needs to be involved. It'll also help you keep a tab on the costs. And you need to be prepared to change. So we want to make sure that change is embraced and open-ended and part of what you want to happen in your business. After all, it's not a digital transformation if nothing changes. So guys, some great things to think about there if you are going to implement technology in your business in 2022 and you're looking to leverage and find success in that. Think about these concepts and I hope it's useful. Thanks for tuning in.